I think the creator of Fairy Tail has finally realized some things, or at the very least, he realized the things that were, or some of anyway, the things that were wrong with Fairy Tail and the things that a lot of the fandom constantly came at him for regarding Fairy Tail. Because with Eden's Zero, his new series, which that's the series, if you've been following, that I've talked about, that, you know, the characters kind of look very identical, or close at the very least, to a lot of the characters from Fairy Tail. There's an Erza look-alike, there's a Wendy Older look-alike, the two main characters, Shiki and Rebecca, kind of looks like mix and matches of like different Fairy Tail characters. Like Rebecca basically looks like Lucy, and Shiki kind of looks like Gray meets Natsu, or whatever. That series in particular, because I caught up with it. I believe there's 7 chapters out now. Last time I talked about it, there was only 2, so 5 chapters since then. And he's made a lot of funny different references to, again, the issues that people had with Fairy Tail, because the main character Shiki, in case you don't know about this, you know, he was found on this planet of robots. He didn't really have any friends, so he's very adamant about making friends. He could see a homeless guy on the street that's like with booze, and he'd be like, hey, you want to be friends? So he's really into friendship, and constantly he is getting called out by Rebecca, the other main character, of like, yo, what is it with you? It's always friendship this, friendship that, knock it off. Which again is very strong, and very likely Hiro kind of saying, yeah, I know you guys are sick of friendship, and this character, yo, I'm keeping friendship in here, but I'm being very self-aware that I understand that the whole friendship thing does get annoying. And I'm imagining, even if that's the case, because at the end of the day, you know, Hiro Mashima is a Japanese guy. I'm not sure if he understands English like that, but I know he definitely gets feedback from the Japanese readers and fans of his stuff, and that means more than likely the Japanese readers had the same sentiments as us regarding, like, with Fairy Tail, that it was just friendship this, friendship that all the time. And that's why he's kind of inserting certain aspects of things like that into Eden Zero. And honestly, it's good. I'm glad that he's doing different things, because I can tell you off the bat that with the 7 chapters I've read of Eden Zero that are out thus far, Eden Zero is definitely a breath of fresh air for Hiro Mashima. It's a breath of fresh air for Shonen, because it's a sci-fi adventure series, and he's keeping certain, again, core elements from Fairy Tail. I mean, for crying out loud, Happy's in the series, you know what I'm saying? Plua's in the series. There's a couple of different elements that are still in there. And of course, again, friendship is in there, but he's being aware that, yo, that is annoying. Stop that. And he's constantly addressing that in different ways and kind of parroting the whole thing in general. There was that one given point where they even referenced Fairy Tail itself, where he was like, oh, Shiki said, you know, the main character that looks like Natsu and Gray, he's like, oh man, you know, I love friendship. I wish everything in here was like, you know, one big happy family guild thing. And Rebecca's like, wasn't there a manga like that? And then in the background you see 2 characters that look straight up like Natsu and Lucy walking by. So again, there's a lot of different references that Hiro Mashima is aware of the criticisms we've had of his story. I just hope that moving forward, those criticisms that he is aware of, he doesn't continually abuse. Like, for example, you know, if Shiki is going up against a foe that is way out of his league, I don't want to see him say, hey, yeah, because that's my friend, I was able to defeat you. And we'll, you know, time will only tell. We still haven't had any blunders like that up until this point, but that's something that I'm just like, okay, you're aware, but are you going to actually act on it and not do those same things and make those same mistakes that you made with Fairy Tail? Some would argue that's not mistakes or whatever. Let's be honest, Fairy Tail, too many problems to name, but that was definitely one of the big ones, of friendship being the key to defeating everybody. And it seems as though he's a little bit more aware, at the very least, coming into Eden Zero, because again, going back into what I was just saying, it does feel like a breath of fresh air with this series, to be honest with you. It seems like it's going a whole different direction. It's not copying the same copy paste formula of different things. He's also being very culturally aware of a lot of aspects of like what's in today's society, but he's still, you know, using it in a futuristic setting. For example, Rebecca's love of trying to get views. Pretty much like a lot of these people here are like YouTubers in a sense. Like, it's definitely more futuristic, but Rebecca's whole goal is to get views essentially and be a big star like the Wendy lookalike. And forgive me, it's going to take me some time to remember their names. All I can say is, yeah, that's the Wendy lookalike that's a little bit older older. She's a star. She's already established as one of these people that are content creators, I want to say. And, she gets views. Rebecca doesn't. So definitely another interesting aspect of keeping things intact. And as far as the story goes up to where we're at right now, it's crazy how he's using time and space and different things in really cool ways. For example, there was a 20,000 year, I think it was 20,000, 2,000, 20,000, but many thousands of years time skip, but it's in a way of where time moves very differently. And also it was kind of interesting because when that happened, our characters didn't progress with everything. Instead, our characters are apparently 50 years in the past now in Eden Zero. So while the whole world just kept going, they went 50 years back, and it was interesting to see where Rebecca runs into Wise, which he's apparently this scientist, and again, he kind of looks a little bit like a mixture of like a Loxus with maybe somebody else, I'm not sure, but pretty much he's another one of what seems to be the main characters, because we've seen the big promo picture of all these characters, and we see his younger version now. He was the old guy that repaired the Happy anyway in the series. He repaired him, but obviously he's younger in this one, so I'm liking what he's doing. To be honest with you, I love time travel stories. I love when it's kind of cool, and adding an element like that this early on in the series is really awesome. And then of course we have other aspects where, for starters, we have the Erza lookalike that is trying to hunt them down, so that's kind of going to be on pause for right now if they're thrown 50 years into the past, because she's not going to be able to find them. Obviously they're not in the time period right now, so adding an element like that kind of holds things off. And then of course the introduction to this mother character, this giant alien looking woman or creature or whatever, that of course again was shown in the big promo poster of all the characters from Eden Zero, that she's apparently big as like the biggest star, which I want to say, I'm imagining that that's a big exaggeration, because as of right now where it stands, nobody knows too much about this character. Supposedly only one person has seen her once, and that's it, which again, if that's the case, more than likely she's probably not that big as they're exaggerating. She's probably not even a big character at all, as far as like, height wise or whatever. It's just that nobody's seen her except one person that may be telling the truth, maybe lying, maybe didn't see the whole thing, or it's just a misunderstanding. So the fact that now that's one of their ultimate goals, to get views, which again, man, society's really changed to the point where it's affecting manga. That's crazy that their whole mission is to find this woman right now. They want to find her and get it on video so that they can get some views. And I'm imagining it's all going to go downhill and be a blunder, even if they run into her and find her, just because, hey, if Rebecca's goal right now is to be a big popular star of, creating content and getting views, that right there will ultimately launch her and propel her. So even if they find her, Rebecca is not going to be able to get it on tape, or something's going to happen, or maybe she'll get some hits, but people will say, you're a liar, or something like that is what I'm imagining once they do run into her, which again has kind of been put on pause because they're dealing with the past of this doctor, or this Professor Wise, that he was a thief back in the day. A lot of really cool and interesting elements. Honestly, as of right now, as it stands so far, I can say so far so good with Eden's Zero. It's pretty enjoyable, it's interesting, it's taking different routes, it's not going the same structure that we've seen time and time again in shonen manga, which it's about that time, honestly. Like, aside from My Hero and Black Clover, which obviously they started around the time where the big three was just starting to end, I think at that point Naruto had ended, and Bleach was getting close or whatever. But where we're at right now, I think we're already past the point of starting a brand new series where, this young character, this young boy going on a quest to become great one day. This structure is totally different. As Shiki, he was found on a planet by Rebecca, and Rebecca wants to get views, and Shiki's just going along for the journey and trying to get some friends along the way. So I'm wondering if we're going to have an ultimate goal for Shiki after a while, because as it stands right now, Shiki doesn't really have a goal other than, hey, I'm assisting Rebecca with getting views, and along the way I'm having a fun journey. So hopefully Shiki gets more of a goal and a little bit more character development, other than, hey, he's got friendship, and hey, he has some gravity type of powers, or hey, he wants friendship or whatever. But honestly, I gotta say right now, it's definitely really, really on a nice course. I don't want to say it's really, really good, but it's very different for shonen, and that's a good thing in and of itself. It's not taking the same formula we've seen so many times before, and it seems as though for the most part up to right now, Hiro Mashima has somewhat understood the carnage and destruction that he's left behind with Fairy Tail and you know, all of what happened with friendship and all that stuff. So yeah, Eden Zero, kind of curious what you guys think. If you've been reading Eden Zero, do you think that it has potential? Do you think Hiro Mashima has stepped his game up since Fairy Tail? Again, being original in a time where every idea in the world has been done is kind of hard, and I see a lot of originality in this, not copying any previous tropes we've seen, and other than his own, which it's self-plagiarism or whatever, but you know, he's doing different things, and that's very, very good for a market and a genre that, you know, is oversaturated with a lot of repetitive things. And your overall thoughts, if you're not into Eden Zero, do you have any plans on checking it out? Again, I'm still skeptical or whatever, but I like what I see so far, and I'm hoping that Hiro Mashima can keep it together with this series because it has potential and he's doing some creative things. Let's keep it going like that, please. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and hit the bell to get all notifications. And of course, check out my other social media in the description below. I'm Funeverworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.
We make a major move, laugh and let the haters lose. We don't give a fuck, virginity intact, clean stack. Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. But now it's whatever, one day I'll be your favorite, but never.